Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Let's talk about the Ismail Haniyeh. Who was Ismail Haniyeh? Ismail Haniyeh, who is died in the Iran. Yes, the news is true and it's reality that Ismail Haniyeh is died in the Iran. So we will discuss about that who was Ismail Haniyeh, Hamas leader, and how he was important for the Palestine or how it was important for the Israel, and who killed Ismail Haniyeh. Although when we will talk about the Ismail Haniyeh, so definitely many minds will think that Israel killed Ismail Haniyeh. Maybe, no doubt in it. But her the thing is that Israel neither accepted nor rejected that he killed Ismail Haniyeh. But yeah, it's obvious that Israel want to kill Ismail Haniyeh. We will also discuss about that how this death will impact on the global scenario, how global scenario will change. So first of all, we will come to know about the Ismail Haniyeh's death. Iran said Ismail Haniyeh, the political leader of the Palestine group Hamas, was killed on July 31 in Tehran in a raid that it is accused Israel of carrying out, which has sparked fear of a wider conflict in the Middle East. The Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps (IRGC) said it was investigating the attack that killed the 62 years old Haniyeh while he was in Tehran to attend the July 30 inauguration ceremony for Iran's new president. He was here to attend the inaugurated ceremony of the newly president of Iran. The assassination of Ismail Haniyeh in a post-Nadran Tehran neighborhood only a few hours after the targeted killing of a top Lebanon Hezbollah commander in Beirut is a major embarrassment for the Islamic Republic and its security services. Yes, it's a major embarrassment of Iran and it also a major thing for Iranian president. Now we will see that how Iranian president will deal with this, because it's also the responsibility of Iranian president, Iranian new president, and we can say that it's also challenge for the Iranian new president that how he will deal with this situation. Recently, as July 30, the Hamas leader had met with Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khomeini. He was then given a hero's welcome in parliament during new president inauguration ceremony, in which representation of other Iranian proxy gods in the region were present. Haniyeh's assassination also in effect eliminated the possibility of hostage deal between Hamas and Israel in the near future, prolonging the war in Gaza and dramatically increasing the risk of a wider conflict in this region. In a swift response, Khomeini promised fair punishment for Israel. Yes, although he was promised, and also he will take the few steps to protect Iranian government. After the death of Ismail Haniyeh, Palestine President Mahmoud Abbas immediately condemned Haniyeh's killing, calling it a cowardly act and dangerous development, according to the Palestine State News Agency. Also, we will see that how the regional conflict and regional war will increase. Yes, it's obvious. Now the dilemma will shift into the Middle East. We will come to know that how the Middle East will react, how Muslim Ummah will react, and also how the leaders will react on the death of it. Although America and Israel were want this death because it was the danger for Israel. Several countries denounced the attack, with Russia calling it an unacceptable political assassination, while Turkey warned it would extend the war between Israel and Hamas in the Gaza Strip. Yes, now we will also expect that maybe that war will more increase in the Israel and the Palestine. The killing of Haniyeh come as Washington is making a push to get Hamas and Israel to agree to the temporary ceasefire and to deal to release hostage being held in Gaza. Senior officials from the United States, Israel, Qatar and Egypt are engaged in the latest round of talks to secure such a deal. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken told reports that Washington was not aware of or involved in Haniyeh's assassination and would not speculate on the impact it might have on the region. So this was the some things which happened after the death of Ismail Haniyeh. Here it's also reality that after the Assassinating the Hamas leader will make negotiation and de-escalation more difficult. Things will become more violent and the situation will worsen. It will not improve. Yes, it's obvious that how the thing will improve. It's obvious now maybe war will more worse and maybe the more countries will involved in this war. So first of all we will come to know about the Ismail Haniyeh, that how Ismail Haniyeh involved in the Palestine politics, how Ismail Haniyeh as lead this Hamas group. So Haniyeh was born in 1963 in Gaza Shati refugee camp, becoming active in politics while studying Arabic literature at university in the Strip. He was married at the age of 16. There were total 13 children of Ismail Haniyeh, 8 sons and 5 daughters. We also need to come to know that her sons also killed in April 10. His 3 sons were also killed on April 10 after the death of her sons. He claimed that in war it's natural. Yes, it's obvious in war these things are natural. So basically, he joined Hamas when it was created in the First Palestinian Intifada in 1987 and was imprisoned on a number of occasions by Israel. First exiled to Beirut in 1992, he returned to Gaza a year later and leapt up the Hamas ranks in 1997. By 2003, he had become a trusted aide, photographed in Yassin's Gaza home holding a phone to the quadriplegic ear so he could take part in conversation. Both were wounded in an Israeli airstrike in Gaza city that year, with Yassin warning that the assassination policy will not finish Hamas. In the aftermath, Israel assassinated Yassin in a helicopter strike a year later. Haniyeh was an early advocate of the group's political agenda. And in 2006, there was a major turn. He became Palestinian Prime Minister after Hamas won the most seat in Palestinian parliamentary elections. He survived a second attempt on his life that year when he was targeted with gunfire at the Rafah crossing with the entourage. Hamas blamed the former Fatah leader in Gaza, Mohammed Dahlan, for the attempt, but he responded by saying, "Assassinating Haniyeh is an honor I cannot claim." The attempt on his life did little to dent Haniyeh's leadership, but Abbas dismissed him as a prime minister in 2007. So after the 1 year of prime minister, now he was dismissed. After Israel withdrew from Gaza and Hamas took control. Despite his experience, he became seen as an advocate of reconciliation with Fatah, including attending the recent signing of a unity deal in China. Haniyeh also knew how to rile up a crowd, becoming as he greeted supporters with chants of resistance after a ceasefire marked the end of the 2012 Israeli assault on Gaza. A second longer Israeli assault on the territory in 2014 targeted his home. He ruled Gaza until 2017 when he was elected head of Hamas political bureau during the internal power struggle. When he left Gaza 2 years later, he was succeeded by the hardline Sinwar. From a more permanent exile, Haniyeh's role developed into building bridges with the group overseas bakers, in particular reclining relations with Iran that had fractured after the uprising in Syria, resulting in Tehran bolstering Hamas' supply of a large and more sophisticated weapons. So, the US State Department designated Haniyeh a terrorist in 2018, saying he had been a proponent of armed struggle, including against civilians. So, in 2018, the US considered her that he is a terrorist because he is pro-open of armed struggle, including against civilians. The International Criminal Court said it wished to seek a warrant for his arrest earlier this year, accusing him involvement in planning the 7th October attacks on towns and kibbutzim in southern Israel, during which 1,200 Israelis were killed and about 250 taken hostage. So, after the 7th October incident, almost all of the world knows that Ismail Haniyeh, leader of Hamas, Ismail Haniyeh is the major personality who is against the Israel. But there is also a reality that now Israel killing the peoples in the Palestine. But still, in the aftermath of the attack, the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared that every Hamas leader is a dead man. That threat claimed young members of the Haniyeh's families who remained in Gaza earlier the year. He was captured on video in April as he received the news that three of his sons, Hazim, Amir, and Muhammad, has been killed along with the four of his grandchildren when an Israeli airstrike targeted the car they were traveling in. Hania, his beard and hair, by then entirely white, looked briefly towards the heavens before closing his eyes as he nodded solemnly, his hand clasped tightly together in front of his torso. He said at that time that the attack would not change the group's demands for a permanent ceasefire and the return of the displaced Palestinians to their homes. All our people and all the families of Gaza have paid a heavy price in blood, and I am one of them. So it was the great statement. It was the major statement of Ismail Haniyeh. After that incident, he will not become weakened, but he was also the supporter of this war because this war was ongoing, and we also know that Israel played the major role in this war. Although the war started by the others, maybe the war started by the other groups, but now Israel, who are killing the innocent peoples, and it's not right. Even the world forums, even the International Court of Justice, the humans who lived in the entire world wants that we should need to stop this war, but still Israel never listens to anyone. Now there was a recent condition is that everyone wants to stop this war, but it's obvious Israel never listens to anyone. In these situations, in these circumstances, still Ismail Haniyeh visited the Iran. It's obvious that it was the important event in Iran, and now we are witness that Ismail Haniyeh killed in the Iran. So now we will come to know, now we will see that how the political dilemma will change in all over the world. We will hope that the war will stop, but still if the war will stop, did Iran will respond of these attacks? If he will respond of these attacks, or if Israel won't listen to anyone, any country, any leader, then it's obvious maybe the world will shift into the third world war. So let's see now what will happen next. Allah Hafiz.